Welcome back, everyone, to This Explainer. Today, we are putting on our mentor hats to look at what is, honestly, the ultimate emotional trial. Just imagine waking up one day and the person you care about most, the one you've literally fought alongside just to survive, has zero memory of you. That is exactly the psychological shock our guy Zan is hit with right before his Dream Knight initiation ceremony. See, he and Ayumi just survived this grueling journey through the Tower of Trials. They battled terrifying nightmares, they fought off total enslavement, and through all that intense character growth, they built an incredible bond. But now, right at the finish line, Ayumi's memory of him gets completely wiped out by a dark force known as cowardice. So Zan is left standing there, having to figure out how to rebuild a profound connection from absolutely nothing. Let's dive into this wild case study on memory, extreme resilience, and just how indestructible human connection can actually be.
Man, what a devastating quote to start us off. Ayumi delivers this line with just absolute ice. Zan tries to play the whole "the heart remembers what the mind forgets" card, but reality hits him like a ton of bricks. Her heart, completely manipulated by the sinister influence of cowardice, gives her nothing. Think about the sheer trauma here for Zan. Their desperate battle against enslavement in the tower, all those times they protected each other from being swallowed by darkness, and suddenly, to the very person he shared it all with, it's just worthless baggage. Just like that, he's a total intruder in his own life.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the trauma of erasure, choosing resilience over abandonment, bridging the gap with music, building bonds through food, the catharsis of rebellion, and finally, forging a brand new bond. Part 1, the trauma of erasure. We're analyzing the true impact of total estrangement here.
This really highlights that massive psychological gap between what we expect and what is actually real. Zan runs downstairs fully expecting to see the Ayumi he knows. He thinks the intense crucible of the Dream Knight initiation and the Tower of Trials would make their bond completely bulletproof. Because fighting off those nightmares wasn't just physical, right? It was deeply psychological. They grew so much, learning to rely on each other to survive their absolute worst fears. He expects that profound shared trauma to easily survive a memory wipe. But the reality is a blank slate. Ayumi looks at him with total suspicion and hostility. She genuinely believes her memories are intact and that he's just some liar trying to scam her. Trust, as Zan quickly learns, isn't something you can just demand based on a past she doesn't possess anymore. It has to be built entirely from scratch.
The text actually describes this as a blow from heaven that leaves Zan completely speechless, like he's just been struck by lightning. And this raw pain triggers a super common trauma response: flight. Facing the daily agony of being this unwanted stranger to the person you swore to protect, especially after the nightmare they just went through, it's just too much. Zan packs up his tattered clothes, says he can't live with an Ayumi that forgot him so fast, and walks out the door.
Which brings us to Section 2, choosing resilience over abandonment, the mentor's crucial intervention.
Ayumi's father, Mr. Kurosawa, catches Zan right at the gate. And look, Kurosawa doesn't just beg him to stay, he actually plays the mentor role perfectly by analyzing Zan's character. He reminds him that during the initiation, while everyone else was just trying to win favor through blind obedience, Zan showed real defiance, deep honesty, and this unwavering dedication to protecting Ayumi. Kurosawa challenges Zan to see the truth. Ayumi losing her memory wasn't her choice. It's cowardice's dark influence. He challenges Zan to stop mourning what they lost and start fighting for what they can build.
And boom, here is the pivot. Zan wipes his tears and makes this incredible realization. True resilience isn't about angrily forcing someone to remember a past that got stolen from them. No. It's about having the patience, the dedication, and the sheer emotional maturity to go out and create brand new memories that will last a lifetime. With his determination totally renewed to become a true Dream Knight and fight the souls of evil, Zan turns around and walks right back into that house, ready to start completely over.
Moving into Section 3, bridging the gap with music, utilizing sensory exchange.
So Ayumi's sister Ai suggests they go out and catch up. Honestly, it is a hugely awkward, tentative start to what is basically a blind date. As they walk to Lower East Side Dream City, they're both completely isolated, just silently listening to their own earphones. Zan realizes he absolutely cannot force a heavy, emotional conversation right now. Her walls are way too high for that. Instead, he tries this brilliant, simple move, a 15-minute MP3 player exchange. It's a super low-pressure, incredibly effective way to open a dialogue without demanding any scary emotional vulnerability right out of the game.
And just look at how this builds their new foundation. By exchanging music, they are literally exchanging cultures. Zan tosses Ayumi into the energetic, high-tempo world of Ghanaian hip-hop and Pidgin English. In return, he gets to experience the melodious, emotional depth of Japanese anime music. This sensory exchange acts as this perfect cultural bridge. It forces them to actively listen, to experience the world through the other person's ears, and to learn about each other as if for the very first time. Step by step, it replaces her tense suspicion with genuine curiosity.
Section 4. Building bonds through food. The psychology of shared joy.
Okay, so Zan takes her to a local chop bar, and when he goes to order, the owner asks for 4 JPs, or joke points. This is a special currency entirely exclusive to Zan, which he earns by constantly helping others and spreading happiness around the Dream City. As a mentor looking at this, I see an absolute masterstroke in social proof. Zan doesn't have to sit there bragging about what a great guy he is. The entire environment organically proves his value. Ayumi gets to see firsthand just how much this vibrant community loves and respects him.
What follows is just a rapid-fire sequence of pure chaotic fun. Zan earns their meal by shouting hilarious jokes to a cheering crowd. Then he completely switches gears, showing deep vulnerability by singing this passionate song called Ordinary Guy, dedicated to protecting her, which actually brings unexpected tears to her eyes. But knowing the moment is getting a little too heavy, he instantly diffuses the tension by leading the whole room in this wildly silly viral song. Then they dive into a super intense fufu eating contest, playfully testing her tolerance for spicy Ghanaian food, and, to top it all off, he concludes the meal with a prank prayer that hilariously insults the crowd, forcing the two of them to literally dive out a window and escape into the streets.
Think about the psychological journey he just took her on. He masterfully paces humor, vulnerability, competition, and the crazy adrenaline of a shared escape. I want you to remember the contrast here. Think back to the sheer trauma and the suffocating darkness of enslavement they faced in the Tower of Trials. That past is so incredibly heavy. By bringing her here, Zan shows Ayumi a completely different, much lighter side of himself. In just one chaotic meal, Ayumi's perception of him flips. He's no longer the annoying intruder. He's a talented, beloved, fiercely protective guy who brings joy wherever he goes.
Section 5. The Catharsis of Rebellion. Breaking out of the mental prison.
So I really want you to consider this question. How do you free someone from a mental prison when it's their own mind, manipulated by an external force that has trapped them? Because Ayumi finally admits to him that she feels like she's going insane, like she's totally unable to do what she truly wants. She's carrying this massive psychological burden. Zan knows that simply talking isn't going to break those invisible chains. She needs a visceral, highly physical release.
Enter Zan's unique solution, something he calls Smashin' Mayhem. He takes her up to the roof of an abandoned building, drags out a box of heavy stones, and just starts smashing the glass windows below. At first, Ayumi is horrified. She's scolding him. But Zan gently coaxes her into trying it just once. When she finally winds up, throws that stone, and hears the glass shatter, the relief is instantaneous. It brilliantly translates her confusing internal frustration into a tangible, shared physical rebellion. Together, with angry locals shouting at them from below, they completely empty the boxes. It is a wildly unorthodox but deeply therapeutic catharsis. It lets her physically rebel against that dark force of cowardice manipulating her mind, and bonds them through shared mischief.
Finally, Section 6, Forging a Brand New Bond, the climax of acceptance.
The adrenaline of the day is finally settling down into sunset. Zan leads Ayumi out to a quiet field of white flowers at the edge of town. He asks her to close her eyes and just trust him. When the first glimmer of moonlight hits the earth, the entire field transforms into this endless, breathtaking wave of glowing light. It's in this beautiful, quiet, and deeply vulnerable space that Zan finally lets his own emotional guard drop, quietly wiping away tears as they lie there among the glowing flowers. This moment just wonderfully illustrates Zan's incredible emotional maturity. It shows exactly how much he has grown as a dream knight. He explains that these lunar flowers symbolize a great longing to belong, and that they historically offer comfort to people who have lost loved ones. He tells Ayumi, with complete sincerity, that he wants these flowers to symbolize her lost memories of him. Zan isn't forcing her to remember. He is openly, beautifully honoring the painful loss of their past, while physically planting a stunning brand new memory right in its place. When Ayumi softly asks why he didn't just brag about all the times he saved her life, Zahn tells her it wasn't his right, because she was the one who made those memories precious in the first place. And then, he confesses his love for her.
But wait, the journey isn't quite over. Back at the mansion that night, Zan applies the absolute final touch to shatter any walls she has left. Sitting by the fire, he tells this incredibly suspenseful Guyanian ghost story. When Ayumi confidently claims she isn't scared of witches, Zan totally manipulates the room, pointing to eerie fluttering curtains and suddenly shouting out in the pitch black. Total panic ensues. But the second they realize it's just a giant prank, Ayumi and Ai attack Zan with pillows. And somewhere in the middle of all that joyous chaos, Ayumi erupts into genuine, uncontrollable laughter. That shared adrenaline and pure playfulness absolutely cement their brand new dynamic.
Reflecting on the profound success of this journey, Zan realizes that in a single, chaotic, deeply beautiful day, he had successfully replaced all of Ayumi's painful, empty gaps with much happier memories. This day of sheer joy serves as the ultimate resolution to the oppressive darkness of enslavement and the heavy trauma they carried out of the tower. Before the night ends, Ayumi actually takes his hand, admitting that her forgotten memories couldn't possibly be more precious than the brilliant moments they shared that single day. Zan's journey proved that while you cannot force a broken mind to remember, if you have immense patience and true dedication, you can always invite the heart to feel again.
As we finally wrap up this case study, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Think deeply about the indestructible nature of human connection and the remarkable emotional resilience we've analyzed today. If your memories were wiped away tomorrow by some dark influence, what specific experiences, what unique sensory details, or acts of pure, unadulterated joy would someone need to recreate to win your heart back completely from scratch? Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.